So during this show, I talked about this in my Patreon and my intro video, but on this show, I'm gonna be very transparent. I love the stock NIO, ticker NIO. And for those of you who don't know, NIO is basically the Chinese Tesla. You could think of it that way. They're like the second biggest EV company behind Tesla. And don't get me wrong, I love Tesla too. Tesla's really good. They're always going to be king. They're way ahead of everyone else. But the thing is expensive. The thing is, well, at one point it was over 900. I think now it's back around 700. But when you want to trade options on it, like I do, it starts to get very expensive. So I think NIO has better growth potential than Tesla. Not that Tesla's done growing, but it already kind of mooned, and NIO has just started getting popular. But first thing is first, let me show you how much money I lost today. That's always fun. Boom. 1,000 shares of NIO. I lost almost 1.5k today. Yup. That's not a good, because I've had a lot worse. But I'll give it a Wojak. There we go. So, yeah, it's been pretty. Let me put that back up. So, it's been pretty tough couple weeks for NIO. It was at all right, so I started with $40,000, right? And I bought in around, it was like 45 or 50, and I've been selling puts and selling calls on it to lower my cost basis. And it doesn't have the full number here. But it's a little, I think it's like 32k in NIO right now is how much money I have in there. So I'm down $8,000, but that's all right, because if this goes back to around 40, I'll be even again, and my cost basis would be lower than it originally was. So I'm not worried. This is a hodl. This is a what? Diamond hands. Diamond hands all the way for NIO.
With diamond hands, they knew they'd profit if they could only hold.
That's right. Hold. Here's another one. Diamond hands. To the moon. You apes, buy the stock. Pump the stock. I'm not just going to say, buy NIO, right? I'm going to do my due diligence here. I came prepared. Okay? I am an ape. So, yeah. Not financial advice. I'm just an ape. Do your own research. But I'm going to tell you why I believe in this company. Okay. So, let's start all the way from the beginning with this guy. This guy, William Lee Bin. This is the CEO and the founder of NIO. Right now, he is number 133, the 133rd richest person in the world, worth approximately $5.4 billion. Last week, when I checked, this was like $7 billion. So that's crazy. If he lost like $1.6 billion in a week, that's some real diamond hands right there. Yeah, so William Lee Bin. This guy is a rags to riches story. He grew up very poor. He was born in a village, helped his family out with the farm, and they were able to save enough money for him to go to college. So he went to college and made the most of it. After college, he started a series of companies, but his first big breakthrough was Bit Auto Holdings. He founded Bit Auto Holdings in 2000. This is a quote. It is a internet content and marketing services and transactions services. Whatever that means. BitAuto.com, Bit Auto Holdings. And he sold that. So he was at Bit Auto for 13 years, and he sold it in 2013. And after he sold it, that's when he founded NIO. He founded NIO in 2014. And he quickly got a lot of support from other businesses. Tencent, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Temasek. Well, Tencent, first of all, Tencent is a Chinese tech company. It's a big Chinese tech company. If you live in the West, probably don't know too much, but they're major players there. And Temasek is a Singapore hedge fund. They invested in them. Baidu, which is one of their competitors, actually. It's another Chinese car company. They invested into NIO. Lenovo, the computer company, they invested, and TPG American invested. That's an American hedge fund. They all invested into NIO early on, and they got in before it went public. The company went public in 2018, and that's pretty recent. That's where we are now, and the stock has been trading pretty low until about 2020 was when it really started to take off. If anything, we know that you should invest in billionaires, right? Don't bet against billionaires. You should bet on billionaires. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, all successful entrepreneurs. They know what they're doing. So I believe in this man. So what is China's role in NIO and the EV market? First of all, they're pushing for EVs by 2030. Now, that's probably not realistically going to happen, but it's a good goal to set. They want to phase out all their traditional internal combustion engine cars and replace them with EVs by 2030. Their market cap, they have the biggest market share of EVs in the entire world, because there's only 350 million people here in the United States, about 1.5 billion people in China. So a lot more people to sell their cars to. And actually, the Chinese government owns a stake in NIO, because early on, NIO was struggling, and China stepped in to help them out financially. They injected them with $1 billion. And now, not exactly sure how much China owns, but they own a stake in NIO now. So, because of this, and this is just my opinion, okay? Just my opinion. If NIO were to get into financial trouble again, do you really think that the Chinese government is going to let them fail when they have a personal interest in this company succeeding? Again, just my opinion, but probably not, right? If NIO is struggling, China's probably going to inject them with more money. So maybe, possibly, unlimited funding? Who knows? Just speculation, not financial advice. But it could be too big to fail. It could be. Who knows? Hopefully it doesn't need to come to that. But I think China having a stake in the company and a personal interest really helps it out a lot. And that's a selling point for me. So in terms of Chinese competition, all right, let's not talk about Tesla. Let's just talk about the competition, their direct competition. There's 3 big Chinese companies, EV companies. It's NIO, there's XPeng, and there's Li Auto. And out of all 3, NIO is the best from any perspective, from a technical, from a fundamental perspective. They get a lot more volume. Their stock is worth more. Their company is worth more. They're pumping out more cars. The name is bigger. So, and that's the consensus too on like YouTube. Out of those three companies, most people are gonna say NIO. And also, China favors its own companies over foreign competitors. So they're giving like subsidies and tax cuts to the Chinese companies, but they're hitting Tesla with taxes, and actually Tesla had to lower the price of their car recently just to make it so they didn't have to pay more tax. So right now they have 3 SUVs and they have a sedan coming in 2022. William Lee said beginning of 2022. So here's their first car, the EC6. That looks pretty cool. How much does this cost? This one is $54,000, starting at $54,000 base price. Not bad. This is their cheapest car, actually. So the EC6 starting at $54,000. And we got, what is this? The ES6. And this one's just a little bit more. $55,000. Yeah, really not that much more. Starting at $55,000. I think this one's just a little bit better than the EC6. And then we get into their premium cars. This is the ES8. This cost almost $70,000. This is $68,000 starting base model. This car is supposed to be a direct competitor to the Tesla Model X. And I haven't driven in either of them, but just based on the specs and the technology, the ES8 has better technology than the Model X, and it costs less too. Yeah, this car and the next car that I'm about to show you, they're considered Tesla killers because they're like better than what Tesla has on the market, and for cheaper too. Again, I love Tesla. Tesla's a great company. Nothing against Tesla. Actually, William Lee said that NIO and Tesla are not competitors. He doesn't see them as competitors. He thinks that they can coexist very well, and I agree with that. Tesla is more of a mass production company. They just pump out a lot of cars for as cheap as they can. And NIO they make more on their margins. They sell less cars, but they sell them for more. This is the ET7, and this car is not on the road yet. This car, according to William Lee Bin, he said early 2022. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed. This is their first sedan. This was revealed, I believe, in January, earlier this year. This car is almost $70,000, a little more than the ES8. This one is $69,350. $69,000, $350 starting for the base model. So let's talk about some of the tech. They all have Nomi, which is their own AI. It's your personal assistant in your car. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of videos on YouTube if you want to take a look. You can talk to Nomi. You get in your car and tell Nomi where you want to go, and then she'll take you there. Okay. LiDAR tech. So NIO when it comes to autonomous driving, they're taking a different approach than Tesla is taking. Tesla puts a bunch of cameras all over the sides of the car, and NIO is they're going into LiDAR tech, which it's not cameras all around. It's just one piece of technology on the top of the car, and it can sense everything around it. So it's supposed to be a lot better than the technology Tesla has. And in terms of levels of autonomy, there's level 1 to level 5 autonomy. And this ET7 is supposed to be level 4 autonomous. And that's the one before level 5. Level 5 is when you don't even need a steering wheel, and the car will just do everything itself. And level 4, I think you still need a steering wheel just in case, but the car can pretty much do everything itself. The steering wheel is just there to be safe. Tesla is only on level 3 autonomous driving right now. And they'll probably be at level 4 soon, and they'll all be at level 5. But as of this moment, NIO is the clear leader in technology when it comes to autonomous driving. Now, this next thing I'm going to talk about is the big differentiator, and that is battery swap technology. And this is interesting because Elon Musk actually said that Tesla tried this, and the customers didn't really like it. At least here in the United States, people didn't really like this battery swap technology. And it's when, you know how you charge your car, you just plug it in and you charge it. But with the battery swap technology, you can go to one of these battery swap stations, and within 5 minutes, they take the battery out from under your car and they replace it with a brand new charge battery. And in addition to that, you also have the option to just charge your car normally. So why not have it? You know, that's some great technology right there. And apparently in China, it's really popular, and I can see why. You know, in like California, people are complaining the charging stations are always full, and you gotta wait a couple hours just to charge your car. And it's probably similar in parts of China, in the big cities. You know, it's really crowded, and a lot of people already have electric vehicles. Charging stations are taken up, and this is a way better alternative to charging. So battery swap technology, definitely good. And apparently they're building at least one new battery swap station a day. So you know, they're going to be widely available, and waiting online is not going to be a problem. So for the revenue sources, they have 3 main revenue sources right now. The first one being, obviously, the money they make from selling their cars, the margins they make on selling their cars. Nothing special there. But what they're doing now is they have this thing called battery as a service, BAAS, or BAS for short. And essentially what this is you can rent your battery. You can pay, I think it's like $150 a month, or maybe $200, something like that. And it gives you over $10,000 off the car up front. So it lowers your cost of entry because you're not paying for the battery. But after you buy the car, you got to pay $150 a month, which most people prefer, actually. So they're getting subscription-based revenue, which we can see in our new economy. That's the best type of revenue you can get. And as far as I know, no other company is going for this right now. No other EV company. Autonomy as a service. So same idea with the battery as a service. If you want autonomous driving, you can either pay for it up front, or they'll give you a big discount over $10,000 up front, but you're going to have to pay, again, probably $100 to $200 a month if you want the autonomous driving. And a lot of people like this too, because A lot of people don't even use it. So when they want to use it, they'll just pay, and then maybe, they go on vacation or take a road trip or whatever, and then when they're done, they just cancel the service. So the other car companies don't have these sources of revenue, and I really don't see why not, because it doesn't hurt, and they're also branding a lot. When you have Apple, like Apple is more than just a phone or a computer. It's kind of like a status symbol, and you look cool when you're seen with the Apple product. And NIO is essentially following that model. They're investing a lot of money into branding and marketing. So they have clothes. They're getting into clothes. They're making clothes, and they're making snacks, like food stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with NIO, but they just want people to buy their products and see NIO. So down the road they can be like, oh, NIO, and then buy a car. And there's the NIO ecosystem, where they guarantee the most money for your car if you trade it in. They basically make it they make it hard to leave and easy to stay. Same thing with Apple, you'll get the best deal when you trade in your old technology, and the best deal for the new thing. So for the future, actually they had trouble meeting demand. Not recently, but because we have a semiconductor shortage right now, which I'll get into in a second. But before the whole semiconductor thing, they were actually struggling to keep up with demand. They had to pull a double shift in their factory, so they only had one shift going before, and now they have a double shift. So they're 24/7. They're pumping out cars, and they actually are in the process right now of building a second factory, and that should be done by the end of 2021 is the plan. And William Lee Bin has said that their new factory is going to be just for the ET7, the new sedan that I talked about. So I'm not sure how many ET7s are on back order, but it's a good amount. So that's not a bad problem. That's a good problem to have. Not being able to keep up with demand. I'll take that problem any day. They're expanding now. They're getting into Europe. They're going to Norway first. They've just posted job positions for Norway. And I think they're going into Norway because they're the friendliest European country when it comes to electric vehicles. I think the majority of people in Norway already drive electric vehicles. So that's a smart move by them, and then they can branch out to the rest of Europe, and then eventually go into the United States. Okay. Delivery numbers. NIO provides December, fourth quarter, and full year 2020 delivery update. NIO delivered 7,007 vehicles in December. That is a 121 year-over-year increase. Good stuff. In Q4 2020, they delivered 17,353 vehicles. A 111% year-over-year increase. Impressive. And in total, in 2020, 43,728 vehicles. That is a 112.6% year-over-year increase. So, you see, every year, or not every year, every month, they've been increasing their delivery numbers. And it's just going to grow and grow and grow. NIO was the third most valuable car company, right behind Tesla being number one, and then Toyota was number two. And NIO is actually number 3. And that's pretty incredible considering that nobody really even knows what NIO is. Unless if you live in China or you're invested in it. But, this relatively new car company that not many people know about is the third most valuable in the world. Oh, and also, people talk about this stock a lot on Wall Street Bets. It's always within the top 10. It's always GME, AMC, Tesla, NIO. Like those four are always, if you check the news, and every day they say like top 10 stocks talked about on Wall Street bets. NIO's always in there. So, apes, pump the stock. Well, there's the sound effect. This is your typical Wall Street bets user right here. Yeah, monkey like money. So I see this as a growth and value play. It's a growth play because it's a new company. It's not a blue chip. So growth stock, but it is a value play too because it gets more volume and trades hands a lot more than actual blue chip stocks. And it's starting to catch on. It's definitely a growth stock. Some people can argue maybe it's not a value stock. I think it's a growth and value stock. So let's talk about some rebuttals here. What are the haters saying, right? Because you always got the haters. It's gonna get delisted. It's gonna get delisted. Don't buy Chinese stocks. They're gonna get delisted. Yeah. Every time there's a fear of a delisting, has it ever happened? No. The only things that get delisted are a few government-run companies, a few military government-run companies that have been around for a long time. Not saying that I guarantee that it won't get delisted. I'm not saying that, but my personal opinion, that's a reach. I doubt that's gonna happen. But hey, if that's really a legitimate fear, then they'll buy it. But I'm not concerned. Tesla is better. Why would you buy NIO if you can just buy Tesla? Why would you buy the number 2 if you could have the number 1? I agree. Tesla is, well, when you say better, that's a little subjective, but it's better in terms of like company growth and company maturity. And like I said before, Elon Musk is not concerned. He's doing his thing, and William Lee Bin, from all indications, from what he said in public, he welcomes Tesla. He thinks that the two companies can make the technology better together, and they can coexist. He said he doesn't see them as competitors. Yeah, if you want to buy Tesla, but I think there's more growth potential in NIO. And also, yeah, and I talked about this a little bit before. Tesla is more of a volume company. They pump out a lot of cars for cheap, and NIO focuses on luxury, for now at least. They focus on luxury, so really 2 different markets. Yeah, some people buy the Model S and the Model X, but most people who own Teslas have Model 3s, and now they're buying Model Ys. And they are known to have quality control problems, Tesla. A lot of people say that when they come off the factory line, the panels are not straight, and it could be better. Okay, competition. So in terms of Chinese competition, domestic competition, they're the best EV company out of the big 3 players. NIO, XPeng, Li. NIO is the best, in my opinion, and many other people's opinion. In terms of foreign competition, there's Tesla, which we just talked about. And then after that, there's what? Lucid? Nikola? Give me a break. Like, Lucid, did it even launch? I don't even think they have cars on the road yet. It got pushed back. And You see how their stock's doing, right? And Lucid is an American company, so again with the market share, there's only 350 million people here, 1.5 billion people in China. So I'm sure NIO is going to sell a lot more cars than Lucid. And Nikola, no, okay. I had a position in Nikola, and full disclosure, I lost $5,000. Okay, because it was real hyped up, and everyone had huge expectations for Nikola, and they had this GM partnership lined up, right? And then what happens? Hindenburg drops this bombshell. They dropped this report saying everything Nikola does is a fraud, pretty much. Nikola had a video of their truck, their semi truck. I don't know how they found out, but Hindenburg found out Nikola actually just pushed the truck down a hill, and it was moving because of momentum, not because of electricity. So they pushed the truck down the hill, and they didn't claim that it was moving on its own. That was their defense. When it was time to respond to the accusations, Nikola was just like, "Well, technically, we never said that the car could move on its own. We just said that it was in motion. So like, we didn't misspeak." And everyone's just like, "Did you just admit that you committed fraud?" That's pretty much what they did. Anyway, I don't want to go on about a whole tangent about Nikola, but no, they are not competition. Okay, my personal opinion again. If you want to go buy Nikola, go buy Nikola. I don't recommend it. I lost money on it already. I'm done with that. And yeah, the final rebuttal is the semiconductor problem, which is a legitimate argument. Right now, last week NIO announced that it would shut down their factories for a week because they just didn't have semiconductors. So you can't build a car without that, and that's that's really affecting their delivery numbers in the short term. Hopefully, it's just a week and it doesn't extend on to any more. But I mean, I'm not worried about it. It's not just a car problem, too. This is a global problem, a global technology problem. Phone companies, computer companies, gaming companies, cameras, anything that uses a semiconductor, which is like pretty much everything now. All these industries are taking a hit. But it's a short-term problem. Like, yeah, you may have a case in the short term. It might mess the company up financially. It might hurt the stock price, but I say within a couple of months, this shouldn't be a problem. But you're right. This is a problem, the semiconductor problem. But as long as you hold, not financial advice, as long as you hold, you'll be good. Just hold through it. And eventually, you're gonna what? Go to the moon. You hold it, you're gonna be swimming in money. And if you want to support, check out my Patreon. I'd appreciate that. Let's sign off with Tendy Town, because that's the goal, right, in the end. We want tendies. Diamond hands to the moon. I'm your host, Ty. This has been Smarter Gambling. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.